Welcome to my next Supernatural Season 1 episode review video. Before I get into that, though, pretty important, if you aren't caught up to the point where I am every once you're watching Supernatural, or you're just not entirely sure, then you definitely need to take the initiative and pay attention to the episode's title, which, of course, I'll mention, as well as put in the description. If that's the case, you find that you're not caught up, it would be my recommendation that you don't watch this detailed review any further to avoid any potential spoilers. And full disclosure, it's actually my first time watching the show Supernatural. I've heard many people over the years tell me how awesome the show is, so I finally bought it on Blu-ray, and then finally started watching it a year later. I don't think it's amazing. I don't think it's bad. I think it's just okay thus far. I was hoping for more characters that are recurring characters, not just Dean, Sam, and I guess John. But maybe things will change. But so far, it's okay. I'm enjoying some of it, and some of it I'm like, yeah, I didn't like that one. It didn't work with me. But I plan to do this for the long haul. I'm going to watch all 15 seasons and review all 327 episodes of the show. So join me on the journey and let's discuss this awesome and amazing show in the comment section. Well, hopefully awesome and amazing show. And let me know your thoughts, what you think of my review. So with all that said, this will be Supernatural Season 1, Episode 11. The title of this episode is called Scarecrow. And this will be my first time watch review, reaction, recap after just finishing watching the episode. We start with a newlywed couple, and they're leaving after the locals have helped them out when they got lost and stopped for gas. The guy has a tattoo that the local couple's teenage niece notices as they make their farewells and leave. And then on their way to the highway, this car and the couple's cell phones both die, and then notice a nearby house. They go to check it out, and on the way they see a ominous-looking scarecrow suspended from a pole. The scarecrow seems to move as they head off into the woods. As they proceed, they hear noises behind them and run for their car. The guy disappears and the woman turns, shouting his name, and stumbles over the corpse of her husband. A shadowy figure closes in on her as she screams. And then we go to current time. In their hotel room, the phone rings and Sam takes the call. It is John, their dad. He assures Sam that they're okay, but that they have to trust him. He can't reveal where he is. He reveals he's after the thing that killed their mom, which is a demon. He tells them to stop looking for him and write down a list of names, warning it's not safe. Dean takes the names, which are 3 couples who disappeared over a 3-year period on the same day in April. After a heated discussion where Dean insists they follow their father's orders and Sam wants to disobey him and go find him, they start to head to the town, Burkittsville, where the couples disappeared. Halfway through the journey, Sam decides he's going to California, where their dad is. Dean accuses him of being selfish and takes off without him when Sam insists he go. Dean pulls into Burkittsville and thinks about calling Sam, but decides against it. He meets with a local man, Scotty, but the man claims to not recognize the pictures of the missing couples. Sam comes across a young hitchhiker who gets picked up by a guy in a van who refuses to take Sam. Dean isn't having any luck with Harley and Stacy, the couple the newlyweds met earlier. Their niece, Emily, recognizes the newlywed's husband from the tattoo. His name was Vince. And her parents then remember them and say that they headed off toward the highway. Dean leaves town, but his EMF meter goes off as he passes the orchard. He investigates and spots the scarecrow holding a sickle. He comments that the scarecrow is fugly, but on closer inspection notices something is off about the scarecrow. It seems to have been made of human skin. He climbs up and finds the scarecrow has a tattoo on its arm just like Vince's. Dean pulls back into town and talks to Emily. She reveals that Harley and Stacy are her aunt and uncle who took her in when her parents died, and that the town is seemingly blessed. He also notices a car belonging to another stranded couple. Sam is unable to get a bus out and meets back up with the female hitchhiker, Meg, and they bond. Dean goes into the cafe and chats with the couple despite Scotty's efforts to keep him away from them. They reveal that they have had a stop for gas when a local mechanic noticed that their brake line is close to giving, and he is fixing it for them, and it'll be ready at sundown. Dean, who knows that this is a ruse, offers to help them fix it faster, but they decline. He gives them an ominous warning, but they ignore him, and Dean contemplates how Sam could have convinced them. Scotty calls the sheriff, who runs Dean out of town. Sam and Meg chat over a meal about her background and her issues with her family and Sam's similar problem with Dean. Come nightfall, Dean returns into town while the newest couple wander through the orchard and are stalked by the Scarecrow. They run for it, and Dean gets in front of them and sends them to their car. He opens up on the Scarecrow with a shotgun to no effect, but they all get back safely to the car as the Scarecrow actually disappears. Dean checks in with Sam, and they conclude that the Scarecrow is a manifestation of a pagan god and takes the couple as a fertility sacrifice. The two of them kind of apologize to each other, and Dean admits Sam has to do his own thing, and he admires him for standing up to their dad. Dean meets with a local professor who provides information on a Norse god, the Vanir, which the locals of Scandinavian descent imported with them. According to the books, its energy springs from a sacred tree. Dean thanks him for his help and goes out of the room, whereupon the sheriff knocks him out. The townsfolk are discussing what to do with Dean and how the Vanir is angry with them and the sacrifice must be made. It becomes clear that Harley and Stacy are going to use Emily for the female sacrifice, and they toss her down into the cellar with Dean. The bus arrives, but Sam decides to go to Burkittsville. When he can't get a hold of Dean, Meg tries to get him to come with her, but he refuses and heads off. Then we have a panicked Emily has been ignorant thus far to what's been going on. Dean figures out that they have to destroy the old trees. She knows what tree he means, but doesn't know where the first tree is. The locals show up to take them to the orchid and tie them to the trees near the Scarecrow. Come sunset, Sam arrives and frees them, but the Scarecrow has already disappeared from where it was. So the three of them run off through the orchid, planning to come back in the morning to torch the tree, but the locals intercept them. Emily begs her aunt and uncle to let them go, but they're interrupted when the Scarecrow kills both the aunt and uncle. The townspeople run off, and Sam, Dean, and Emily get clear. The next morning, they find the first tree inscribed with ruins, and the brothers prepare to torch it. Amy insists on setting it on fire herself, and it goes up in flames. Emily takes off on a bus, and Sam tells Dean he'll be staying with him, and they're going to finish it together. And then later on that night, Meg is driving off with some guy in a van and asks him to pull over, which the guy takes an invitation for sex. She says she needs to make a call, to which the guy offers his cell phone, but she smiles coldly and says it's not that kind of call. She pulls out a silver goblet, cuts his throat with a knife, and catches blood in the cup. She then reaches on, or I should say, she recites an incarnation and questions why she was ordered to let Sam go. She receives a silent explanation and responds, "Yes, yes, Father." And that's what ends this episode of Supernatural. So, interesting episode. I'll give it an 8.4 out of 10. And then my character of the episode, I could go Emily, I can go Meg. I'm going to go Meg with this one. And of course, we all know Sam and Dean are the character of every episode. So you've heard everything that I have to say. Now it's your turn. If you're a fan of Supernatural and you want to help me out with the YouTube algorithm, please make sure that you Hulk smash the like button, share this video with a friend, put this video on any one of your social media platforms. Don't forget to sound off in the comment section about what your thoughts are on this episode of Supernatural. What would you rate it, and who would you choose as the character of the episode? And then last but certainly not least, don't forget to hit that sub button. You're watching the video anyway. Subscribe to the channel. Help me get over 100K subscribers. Yes, I know, I set my goals high. Join the team, share your damn support, and be a part of something special. And you never know what you're going to see on JDev TV.